yeah, a little bit about me. I'm half Asian and half Hispanic. So if any of you have any cute friends who are half black and half white and are, yeah, interested in making a quad racial baby, come see me after the show. Yeah. Maybe we can end racism. I don't know. It's possible. Yeah, so my dad was from Vietnam, my mom is from Mexico. And when your parents are immigrants and you're mixed race, like sometimes you'll have strangers come up to you and they'll be like, hey, can I ask you a question? And you think they're gonna ask you about your family's history, which is cool. Like my parents went through a lot. Like my dad survived the Vietnam War and the boat ride here. Like my sweet introverted mom, she like survived countless authentic Mexican fiestas. You know, a lot of fun, very loud. You know, and I could say that half Mexican. If you don't believe me, I will FaceTime my mom right now. She would be thrilled. But instead, these strangers are like, hey, have you thought about opening yet another fusion restaurant? Like, all of a sudden, we're on Shark Tank. And they're like, yeah, we're just really passionate about you serving us banh mi burritos. And I'm like, yeah, I will invest in my health by walking away very slowly. Yeah, my dad would also pitch his own business ideas to me, specifically green card marriages. Yeah, I don't know if you all are familiar with green card marriages.
40K, you're worth 40K.
Yeah, you know what's up. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I've heard my friends get offered.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I did it myself.
my white Filipino guy,
Yeah.
40K.
So yeah, my dad. If you're not familiar, my dad was like, Jerry, there's a lot of women in Vietnam who pay you a lot of money, and all you have to do is marry them. Yeah, so they can come to America and become U.S. citizens. And if you're like, oh, that sounds like easy money, then maybe you're my dad. We thought the exact same thing, and would not shut up about it. And I told him I wasn't interested, and he was like, son, are you sure? Because all you have to do is sign the paperwork, take some photos, so immigration thinks it's real, and then just live with them. For like 5 years. And that's it. But what my dad didn't mention is that if I did that, I would be getting paid in Vietnamese dongs, which means I have to go to the bank and then ask a teller if they will take all my Vietnamese dongs. And as an introvert, that's hard money. I don't think that's easy at all. So I told my dad I wasn't interested, and he was like, he could not believe it. He was like, I would do it if I was single. Yeah. And then my mom was like, okay, bet. My parents got divorced. My dad went back to Vietnam for the first time since he left because of the war. He came back with a new wife. And my stepmom was like a really sweet lady, so I was kind of surprised when my dad immediately started complaining about how she wouldn't stop yelling at him. I was like, maybe she just wants a refund. And like maybe you should find a couples therapist that specializes in buyer's remorse. Maybe. But I think it's kind of funny that my dad came to America as a refugee just to become addicted to gambling. Yeah, specifically slot machines. He lost all his money at them. And my dad used to say he was unlucky, but I think he was just being greedy. Yeah, because I don't think you can expect to survive the Vietnam War, escape a prisoner of war camp, avoid Agent Orange, and get 3 cherries in a row. No one is that lucky. My dad was just crazy and unrealistic. My dad was also obsessed with like watching movies about the Vietnam War, and just watch them constantly. And I think it's because they would all show the people he fought against just getting obliterated. Like he would just see their blood and guts being splattered everywhere, and then be like, "I think I'm healed now." Yeah, my dad's therapist was just like some 16-year-old who worked at Blockbuster Video. All right. Thank you. Yeah. My dad actually passed away a long time ago. Yeah, and it was because Blockbuster Video went out of business. Couldn't take it anymore. But I'm really proud. I mean, my dad made me watch all these movies about the Vietnam War with him, and I'm glad that he did because they made me really appreciate how resourceful and resilient Vietnamese people are. So when other kids would say that their dad could beat up my dad, I would be like, hey, is this fight happening in the playground or in the jungle? If it's in the jungle, history is not on your dad's side. I have to go with my dad on that one. I am kind of a pacifist, but also a pragmatist as well. So I've been blaming a lot of stuff on the Iran war recently. I was waiting in a really long line to rent a car. There were no employees behind the counter. The guy behind me was like, I bet they're in the back jerking off. And I was like, yeah, it's like a fake video made by an Iranian general of JD Vance and Melania having sex. And I was like, I would love to watch that. I was like, yeah, that would be fun. I got stood up on a date recently, and in my head I was like, oh, maybe she's just waiting for the Strait of Hormuz to reopen. I told a friend I couldn't make it to their wedding because Spirit Airlines closed down. And maybe the Iran war has something to do with it. I don't know. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So that was fun. I'm a single guy, but I'm trying. I asked a woman out on a date, and she was like, I will let you know. Yeah, and she has not. She has not let me know. And this was a long time ago, too. And I've seen her a bunch of times since. Yeah, and every time I've seen her, she acts like she's forgotten about the entire thing. But it's okay. It's like my grandmother used to say. What was your name again? Check Alzheimer's. Yeah, okay. Some of you didn't like that joke. I want you to know that was my grandmother's favorite joke. Actually, I'm kidding. I don't know if my grandmother liked that joke. All I know is that my grandmother's up in heaven right now, looking down and saying, that guy looks familiar. I feel like the people who didn't laugh at the first part of the joke also did not laugh. and I admire your consistency. Integrity. I saw a movie recently. I don't know if you guys, the Materialist, I don't know if you watched it, you saw it. Well, so there's like a character in it who was short, but then like paid like $200,000 for a height enhancing surgery because he wasn't getting laid enough. And it's someone who's like worked really hard. It's like really like love themselves and accept themselves wholly. I was like, this man is obviously no longer a short king. You know? like he's not fit to wear like the tiny crown that we all put on before we go to bed, you know, just so we can feel cute at night. But yeah, I think it's insane that like guys like him would like break their own legs just to have overpriced cocktails with someone who has their Instagram bio and their Hinge profile. Like I think it's like truly like Mad King behavior. You know, like if this was like Game of Thrones, he would be dead in like 2 episodes. Like, he would not last long at all. Okay, all right. I have to go soon, in case you guys were wondering. You guys are like, oh, this is pretty fun. I hope he's gonna be up here for another 2 minutes. I'm so sorry. Only 1 more minute left, so this will be the last thing I'm gonna do. I'm a sensitive man. I had a really bad breakup in my early 20s. I cried for like a year. Like, yeah, I cried so much I felt a lot of shame as a man. I was like, men should not cry this much and this violently. So like, I wanted to do something to like make me feel more like a man. So I got a tattoo. It's a tattoo of a dragon. I'm gonna show you guys the tattoo right now. And the first person to see it was my sister. And she was like, hey, why did you get Mushu from Mulan? That's it for me. Enjoy the rest of the show.